Okay. Hello. Welcome to Something You Can Feel, a Black Art History podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Riley, and today we have three special guests. Um, who wants to introduce themselves first? Kamisha seems perked up. We have two people who have already been here, so they can reintroduce themselves very quickly.
Hi, everyone. I am Kamisha Gray. I am the auntie, the cool auntie, or the wine auntie, how she likes to refer to me. And I am a returner. So that's me.
I'm Kiana. I'm Kiara's mom, and I'm a returner as well.
That's all you're gonna say?
Well,
That's
you said
enough.
That's
brief.
enough. That's
He
enough.
said brief.
And then can our new person introduce themselves?
And I'm Joe, and I'm her dad. First time on here. Woo-hoo.
You want to do a long spiel about your resume like the rest of them did?
Well, I just say I'm Joe Lewis. I'm a park supervisor of recreation with the Chicago Park District. I've been there for 28 years now, and that's about it.
Cool.
Oh, 2 more years to retirement.
5 years.
Wow. The fact
Five
that you
long
counting
years.
down and you know it's exactly 5.
Exactly.
Okay. So, is there anything else anybody else wants to share before we hop in? We're just gonna hop in.
I'll be 50 this year.
That's true.
Hey.
Okay. Any other fun facts before we hop in?
I'm a member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and God loves the Qs.
Oh my gosh.
There's a sorority mention in here too, so we will be talking about the Divine Nine a little bit.
Wonderful.
Cool. Cool. So today's episode is about a lot of things, but it's about Henry O. Tanner, who is this guy right here. So Henry Osceola Tanner was born in 1859 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to Reverend Benjamin Tucker Tanner and Sarah Tanner. His mother had been formerly enslaved and escaped with her family as a young girl via the Underground Railroad, and his father would become the bishop of the First African Methodist Episcopal Church when the family moved to Philadelphia in 1868. I'll chat more about his parents in detail later and the rest of his family. But a cool thing about his middle name, Osceola, it is the shortened name of Osawatomie, a town in Kansas where John Brown's anti-slavery campaign began. Does anybody know who John Brown is?
Great white man, abolitionist, led a uprising where they tried to free the slaves.
Yeah.
Mhm. I was going to say that too.
Yeah, sure. He led the anti-slavery revolt at Harper's Ferry, and he was hung when he was caught, becoming the first person to be executed in the U.S. for treason. So the Tanners in Philadelphia had many cool neighbors, including Robert Douglas Jr., who was a successful Black artist and abolitionist. Henry would often pass by his home and always stop to look at the pictures in his window. When Henry was about 13 years old, he saw a landscape painter working in Fairmount Park, where he was walking with his father, and at that point, he decided he wanted to become a painter. In 1879, Henry enrolled in PAFA, the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, the first and oldest art museum and school, becoming the only Black student there at the time. This was at a time when many artists and art schools refused Black apprentices, so Henry experienced a lot of anti-Blackness, but ultimately became a close student of Thomas Eakins, a renowned white American realist painter and sculptor. He remained there for almost a decade until he was nearing his 30s. Tanner began to develop confidence as an artist and started to sell his work, but ultimately ran into a lot of racism, which triggered a desire to move abroad to Europe. He ran a photography studio in Atlanta and taught Art Clark Atlanta for a short time to raise funds to move to Paris, which he did in 1891. Henry was known for painting landscapes, religious subjects, and scenes of daily life in a realistic style that made him very popular in France. He was able to find immense success in Parisian art circles and spent the rest of his life there, only returning back to America for brief stints. In 1896, his painting Daniel in the Lion's Den was accepted into the 1896 Salon. Does anybody know what salons are?
Places
Not
where you go to drink.
no, not a saloon, but a salon.
Oh,
So a salon is like a precursor to a museum. They would have like art from like the floor to the ceiling, and it was like if you were accepted, a really big deal. They didn't have a lot of black artists at the time, but it's where like Van Gogh and Picasso and all of those artists like that would go to debut their work for the first times, or be accepted to debut their work for the first times.
okay. We learned something new. Thank you.
Yeah. And know the difference between a salon and saloon.
Yeah, it was a pretty big difference. So it was accepted into the 1896 salon. And then later that year, he painted The Resurrection of Lazarus, which gained him critical acclaim and cemented his position in the artistic elite. Though Turner was mostly known for religious and mostly white imagery, one of his most famous work, The Banjo Lesson, which is depicted right here, shows an elderly black man who we can assume with who we can assume is his grandson, showing him how to play the banjo. This painting is considered one of the first works created in the American realism style that depicts black life. In 1899, Henry married a white opera singer named Jessie Olson. They were very close, but people often made very racist comments about them and their relationship. Here's a quote from another artist about the two. Did you ever hear of Miss Olson from Portland? She has a beautiful voice, I believe, and came to Paris to cultivate it. And she has married a darky artist. He is awfully talented, but he is black. She seems like a well-educated girl and really very nice, but it makes me sick to see a cultivated woman marry a man like that. I don't know his work, but he is very talented, they say. In France in 1923, Turner was appointed the Legion of Honor, the highest national order of merit, and he died in 1937 and lives on as one of the first black painters to gain international acclaim. And that is Henry O. Tanner. Any questions about him before I move on to his family?
No, but I am familiar with this this artwork. I've seen it multiple times. I think maybe the first time I saw it was in elementary school.
At Beasley. They hang it up
Exactly.
at Beasley.
At Beasley in the library, right?
Yeah. They hang up at Beasley.
Yep. So I just remember seeing this picture like at an early age.
Yep.
It's
Mommy,
funny
do
y'all
you
say that. I have never seen it, and we all went to the same school.
It's in the library, Kiana. It's in the library where books are.
I'm sure I went there once or twice. But
That's
I
why she never saw it.
That's why she don't know it. It's in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't look familiar.
Okay. So back to Henry's family. So Henry Ossawa Tanner's mother, Sarah Elizabeth Miller, was one of 11 children born to a slave who sent her children to freedom via the Underground Railroad. Members of the Pennsylvania Abolitionist Society divided the children into various families, sending Sarah to Pittsburgh. Henry was very close to his mother and painted this portrait of her, which he kept in his personal collection and spoke affectionately of it in letters to his family. She's the woman who's in the painting on the right. She's also the woman sitting next to the man. So Henry's dad, Reverend Benjamin Tucker Tanner. He was an acclaimed clergyman, activist, and editor. He became a bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, or the AME Church, the first independent Black denomination in the United States. He was also a close friend of Frederick Douglass, who often spent time at the Tanner's house. Benjamin was also the founder of the Christian Recorder, which is the first official newspaper of the AME Church and the oldest continuously published Black newspaper in the United States. This is Henry's sister.
Question. How come they're not taking a picture of the mother at least smiling? Like there's no...
They were around at a time where there just wasn't a lot of photos. You had to be rich to get your photo taken. And if you weren't really like, she didn't have like an active public life. So if you didn't have like a active public life, there was almost like no reason for like photos to be taken of you. So there just wasn't a lot of photos of her to find.
And back during that time, people didn't smile in photos.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe.
Right.
Yeah. Look at any of the old Wild Wild West photos, you'll never see anybody smiling. And
if you think about how long the shutter time was, like it would be a unnaturally long time for you to hold a smile.
Okay, I could see that. That makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Cool. So this is Henry's sister, Dr. Hallie Tanner Dillon Johnson. She was the oldest sister. She was the first woman to serve as a physician at Tuskegee University and to pass the Alabama State Medical Exam. She worked with her father as a teen, editing the Christian Recorder, and then went on to become one of the first Black women to attend the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania. And she graduated there with honors, and then she was recruited by Booker T. Washington to serve as the lead physician at Tuskegee. She accepted Washington's offer, which included $600 a month, lodging and meals, and arrived to begin her service in August of 1891. Before beginning her new job, she had to pass the Alabama State Medical Exam. The very fact that she was sitting for the test caused a public stir in Montgomery, and she had to spend 10 days taking the exam, which was not normal, addressing different areas of medicine each day. Dillon impressed the state's leading doctors and physicians with her responses, and she passed the test. While at Tuskegee, she collaborated with local residents to explore and address the root issues of the community's poor health, which she attributed to a lack of accessible and affordable health care for Black people in the rural South. This led to the establishment of a training school for nurses and the founding of the Lafayette Dispensary, which offered affordable medicine and treatment. She would even create some of the medicines herself. Dr. Hallie also taught about 2 classes a day, and she was responsible for the health care of the school's 450 students and 30 faculty and staff. Though she passed away in 1901 due to complications from childbirth, her legacy and contributions to medicine live on. Any questions about Sadie or Hallie?
That's amazing. Stuff you hear. I've never heard this story before.
Yeah.
Nope, I didn't either.
Cool.
Yeah, never heard this name, and I guess, of course, because we're not from Pennsylvania, but so
A
far
lot of
seems
people
like
here don't know about them either. They're like
Oh.
kind of a random family
okay.
outside of Henry. So this is the last person we'll talk about today, which is Sadie's niece, Sadie Tanner Moselle Alexander, and she was the first Black woman to graduate from the University of Penn's law school. While she was a student, and this will be relevant to Kamisha, while she was a student, the home served as the convening space for the Gamma chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, the third ever chapter and the first founded on a predominantly white campus. She attended Dunbar High School in Washington, D.C., which was the first public school for Black students in the U.S. She initially attended Penn to receive a bachelor's in education, and she had faced extreme racism and sexism, being accused of plagiarism and having other students steal her intellectual property. She returned to Penn for her master's in economics, and in 1921, she became the first Black woman in America to receive a PhD. In 1919, she served as the first national president of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority and served as a sorority's legal advisor for over 35 years. And the Tanner family home was actually listed as the Delta's headquarters for some time. She was the first Black woman accepted into Penn Law School, and even after the dean tried to deny her from the law review, she graduated in 1927, becoming the first Black woman to be admitted to the Pennsylvania bar.
Interesting facts.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Sadie Tanner Moselle Alexander.
And she's the first Black woman to obtain a PhD.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that I can understand. And all the stuff that you got to deal with just to get your PhD, you're right, Kiara. This is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Cool.
They trying to deny us, but can't do it.
Set up obstacles. Yes, they do.
That's your contribution to this, Kiana.
Well, I'm not going for a PhD, but I would assume there are obstacles there. I'm not going for one, so I don't know. But so far, I'm surprised. This is actually I guess that's what you're gonna get to, a prominent family. Seems like a prominent family at the time.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So for the last year, I've been working on this project called the Friends of the Tanner House. This is the actual house. So let's just talk about the house for a minute. So the Friends of the Tanner House is an organization dedicated to preserving and revitalizing the historic Tanner family property at 2908 West Diamond in Philadelphia Strawberry Mansion neighborhood. Through our heritage stewardship, the Friends of the Tanner House honors the growth, development, and sustenance of the rich Black cultural life of North Philadelphia with family-centered artistic, intellectual, and cultural programming. Launching in 2021, the Friends are a group of Black preservation advocates and cultural workers, honoring the legacy not only of the groundbreaking work of Henry Tanner, but also his family. recognizing the importance of the landmark Tanner family home in not only art history, but also Philadelphia history. An all-volunteer group came together to spearhead preservation efforts of the house, which is currently in urgent need of stabilization. So this is what the house looks like right now. The second floor is like a bar. At some point, some people moved in the 70s and turned it into a bar. And kind of let it fall apart. So this is what the house looks like in the inside of it couple months ago. It just got a roof also recently. It had to be like stabilized from the ground up from the basement because it was gonna cave in. So the friends of the Tanner House are working to raise funds to actually stabilize the house so that they can turn it into a cultural center and residency space.
Good idea.
The Tanner family home had once been described as an intellectual gathering space for Black creatives and scholars. Though listed on the National Register for Historic Places in 1976, the house's condition has greatly deteriorated due to years of neglect. It was listed as one of the 11 most dangerous places in the U.S. in 2023 by the National Trust of Historic Preservation. The Friends of the Tanner House are inspired by the words of poet and housing activist June Jordan in considering how to incorporate love into a 1960s Harlem neighborhood redesign project. She asks what kind of schools and what kind of streets and what kind of parks and what kind of privacy and what kind of beauty and what kind of music and what kind of options would make love a reasonable, easy response. The Friends of the Tanner House are interested in seeing the home return to its legacy as a cultural gathering space and envision its future as a community creative center and artist-residency space. Through a community re-envisioning and design process, they are working with neighbors, artists, architects, and cultural workers to imagine the future possibility of the home and its effect on the culture programming of North Philly. Any questions?
I actually think that's a great idea, to restore this home, and make it, you said like something like a community center, because that's helping younger people, relate to the past and understanding, okay, who is Henry Tanner, and understanding more about his family. I'm actually shocked at the fact you said they turned it into a bar.
So
Okay.
it was always in the family's name, and so someone from the family turned it into a bar.
Oh, okay, I got you. Understood. Yeah. Okay.
I was just about to say it looked like a speakeasy.
Yeah.
Why would the bar on the second floor?
Yeah.
It looks strange. Like the house, it looks like a family house, but then you go up to the second floor and it's like this bar.
That's what a speakeasy.
That's what makes me think about a speakeasy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Friends of the Tanner House have collaborated with the University of Pennsylvania's Center for the Preservation of Civil Rights Sites, hoping to lead an arts-rich participatory planning and preservation visioning process, inviting community members to provide input into the rehabilitation and proposed reuse of the Tanner House, centering the specific ways Black folks have helped shape Philadelphia. They have also partnered with me, Kiera Riley, to lead the Community Artist Partnership, a series of multi-generational interactive arts and culture activities, uplifting the Tanner family legacy while spreading awareness of the home's preservation goals and inviting rich community wisdom to inform the ongoing revitalization of the Tanner House. So these are some photos of me when I had hair still at the house. All Philadelphia historic sites have this blue marker. So this is us in front of the historic marker. And then when I was in the house, I found this random painting like in a closet. We have no idea who it belongs to, but this is what, if you can kind of see the background, what some of the rooms look like. Cool. So this is from the first event we had. It was in October of 2023. We hosted an event called the People's Dispensary, which was inspired by the life of Dr. Hallie Tanner Dillon Johnson. It was a day of creative, holistic care workshops and activities honoring Black femme healthcare workers through workshops exploring farming, birth work, herbal medicine, and family genealogy. We started off with a yoga session, which transformed into a drumming circle that welcomed our neighborhood seniors. There was a genealogy workshop that helped participants research their family roots, where our local menstrual equity org called Bloody Bitches led a Black birthing workshop and taught folks on how to become a doula. The day ended with a land stewardship for Black Mamas watercolor workshop and an herbal tea making session.
That's cool. When you talked about the birthing bitches.
Their name is
And
Bloody Bitches. They give out like free menstrual products.
okay. That's interesting. And the whole doulas and midwives is actually really cool. Um, it's actually something that's becoming more popular recently. I saw a film last night called The Birthing. I think it was called The Birthing Nation, and it really just talks about the disparities that Black women go through just trying to deliver a baby. Um, and that was really, really eye-opening. Like I always knew that for years, but to really see like the statistics, and even one of the doctors spoke about how some of the hospitals here in the city are actually closed when it comes to birthing units. Like Jackson Park Hospital no longer delivers babies. And I was like, that's so weird. They were also naming a couple of other hospitals as well. And I was like, well, where do Black women go to deliver their babies, especially in Chicago, especially when you live on the South Side? So it's interesting that a lot of those conversations are coming up recently.
Or get prenatal care. It's difficult for the prenatal care as well.
Yeah, so what this activity that you're saying is, so me and Nayanka, this is Nayanka, she's the founder of Bloody Bitches, we're close friends. I made this cyanotype. This is actually a photo of Dr. Hallie. And Nayanka asked some Black doulas and birth workers from across Philly to submit photos. That's what the other photos that you see are. And so we made this big cyanotype featuring Dr. Hallie and then a bunch of other Black birth workers in Philadelphia and also historic figures. And then in the other photo next to it, you see people painting on top of it, different messages. So that was the activity.
Nice idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also it's educating young people about
Yeah.
who she is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was multi-generational, so there were some older folks around, but most of the people who came to the doula workshop were in their 20s or so.
I mean,
Okay.
we older too. What you trying to say?
We're all young, you know?
Yep, we young too. You're right.
Cool. So later that month, we hosted Plastic on the Sofa, which was an artist talk and collage workshop inspired by Henry O. Tanner's depictions of Black domestic life and works like The Banjo Lesson. So we asked the founder of the Color Girls Museum, Vashti Dubois, as well as two friends of mine, Destiny Crockett and Doriana Diaz, who are both collage artists, to talk about the ways that their work featured and honored Black domestic spaces. And then after each artist shared a little bit about the inspiration behind their work in relation to Black houses and Black vernacular interiors, people actually got to make collages inspired by their homes. So yeah, in these two photos, it was pretty simple. You'll just see people making collages. This is Destiny, who was one of the artists who was a part of the artist talk. And then we can see a little bit of Doriana's afro on the side, but it was a cool collage lesson and then a little bit about Henry O. Tanner's work. And then in December, we went to our local library to host a ceramic altar building workshop inspired by Reverend Benjamin Tucker Tanner and Sarah Tanner, exploring the relationship between Black spirituality and religious practices and searches for liberation. So we had a conversation about altars and altar building. My friend Ona taught people how to make their own herbal head washes. And then our ceramic instructor, whose name is Robin, taught people about how to build their own ceramic altars. And then that's me over here helping some people out.
That's cool to see you teaching people something.
It is. But actually, you know what I'm fascinated in hearing is how me being a math person and not really dealing with art much, and seeing how art can be incorporated into people's lives various ways. It's not just sitting there drawing something. I actually like that concept of altar making.
Yeah, and it was cool. A lot of folks who came to the altar building workshop were older. And so it was a lot of people's like first time working with clay. But I think thinking about religion or thinking about spirituality was like an easy entryway for a lot of older people to like be able to make their own altars and think about it from that perspective. So that was pretty cool. And then we hosted this event called A House Is Not a Home. It was a free family portrait and oral histories event where families got an opportunity to get free family portraits, digital portraits, as well as tintypes. So these are tintypes, which are photos printed on tin. And then we also interviewed families, and they were able to tell us about the histories of their homes and their families in North Philly. And then the last event we did was called Civic Inspirations, and it was inspired by the life of Sadie Tanner Moselle Alexander, and it was a social justice centered printmaking event. We collaborated with 2 abolitionist center orgs and organizing center groups, the Colonized Philly and the W.E.B. Du Bois Abolition School, to explore the importance of preserving Black spaces and heritage. And then people also got to screen print their own T-shirts and tote bags supporting contemporary issues in Philly. And those are all the events we did.
Very nice. Very nice events.
I do some great events.
Yeah.
For the community. Yeah.
Cool. So that's what I've been doing for the last year.
And how did you like doing all those events?
We're
Kiera?
proud of you. We're proud of you, Kiera. We are
proud of you.
Thank you.
You smart, just like your mom.
What would be your favorite event out of all the events you did? What would be your favorite one?
The family portrait one happened inside of my exhibition. So yeah, that was cool. It happened inside of the actual show.
Okay. And what did some of the participants say about that one? Like talking about your family house and things like that, your family structure. Because I don't think that's something most people do, is just, oh, let me tell you about my family.
Yeah, a lot of people I think were a little bit like uncomfortable or didn't know what to say. I think a lot of the events we've done, a lot of people are like, I don't know, I don't do art, or I don't know. And so they feel a little bit like unconfident or not confident at first, but then I think with time it's like, we're not asking hard questions, or it's just like, how did you and your family move into this house? This one woman was saying that like she lives close to her, or she grew up next to her grandma's house, and she was like, oh, I've never gotten to really like talk about that, or like thought that was like cool that I like own both of the houses next door to mine.
I think it's a topic a lot of people don't talk about. Like, we don't talk about the home structure so much. We talk about family and we talk about family members, but we don't talk about the home structure and what that means to members in the family.
That's a good point, Kamisha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Smart sometimes. No, but I agree. That's something and I'm thinking of the question myself. I don't know what I would say about our home structure. I wouldn't know where to begin with that question. Because you assume everyone else is just like you. You know, at least I make that assumption. Everyone grew up similar to me. At least initially.
I guess I think differently now. So when I think about our home structure, I think about, again, the home that we grew up in. Our mother recently made some updates to the home. She's redone the floors. She used to have carpet. I'm like, well, you still got carpet, lady. But now she's got hardwood floors. She's painted it. And so now I go back to the home and I look at it from a different lens too, you know? And then too, when we were growing up, it was really busy. It was 3 of us, 4 of us. It was 4 of us. Five. And now you go back and it's just our mother. And so you're just like, oh, there's some things that are just different in general. Believe it or not, in the kitchen, we actually used to have a little island, just a small little island. And she took that out. And sometimes when I go over there, I'm like, I miss that little island. Like, that was kind of
circular
cool.
island. Yeah.
Right. So I'm almost like, why did we take that away? But it's those little things that, make you think about the structure of the home. And then our youngest sister's room used to be my room. So every time I go back there, I'm like, oh, this is my old bedroom.
Which used to be the TV room when we were growing up.
Right.
That same room. Even that room, how many transformations it's gone through.
Yeah.
It's been all of our rooms.
It used to be our grandmother's room. because I gave it up when our grandmother moved in, and then I moved down to the basement. And guess who had to move down to the basement with me?
Right. Because where I'm gonna go? Yeah. So and then what it carrying, and then there was something else afterwards. So yeah, just thinking of how our that house has changed.
And
Is,
now it's a
is,
junk room. Now it's a
That's,
junk room.
yeah. Oh, the base, yeah.
I got bedrooms in the basement.
No, we took
No.
the basement and we put our beds down there and we made it into like an apartment.
Oh,
Um, because we had a bathroom, we had a TV, like we literally turned it into an apartment type.
Yeah. Our basic food was down there and things. So everything you needed was there. And then just I remember back then the house used to flood. And so I think after the flood, we just I don't know. I don't know what happened after that. But yeah, now it's just a junk room. But it
We had
used to
a
be our
couch.
bedroom.
Yeah, we actually had a couch down there. We set it up like an apartment.
Yeah,
A coffee table. We had a coffee table.
okay.
it was nice. We had a nice setup. If we had a back door, I would never came upstairs. Ever. Yeah. But just looking at that now, what that basement looks like versus when it was actually a bedroom or an apartment, it just like, oh, okay. Just look at all the junk that came down here. Mhm. But
But
no,
what about your home, Joe, when you were growing up? What about your home?
It was I grew up in a two-parent household with three boys. I don't have any sisters. So it was a different dynamic. Me and my brother Glenn stayed in the same bedroom, and they converted the back room, the TV room, into my brother Kenny's bedroom. The basement was like the amusement park for us. That's where we had a pool table, pinball machines. It was like our house. All the family would come over to play games and stuff like that. And so that was kind of cool because we always had our family around and cousins, aunties, uncles, all of them. So yeah, that was a little bit different. So it was cool.
and you had relatives live close by next door?
Well, yeah, block over. Yeah, my sister, my mother's sister, my aunt, she lived down the street. Our other aunt, she moved like 3 blocks over. So yeah, they were all like right around each other. So that was nice. We could always walk to each other's houses and whatnot. So yeah, it was cool.
That's nice. Yeah.
And
So
then what
even
about
just
the house? What about the house that y'all all lived in together? I'm talking about, on 80th,
Mm-hmm.
86. What
It was
was it?
80th and Avalon.
Avalon,
Yeah.
80th and Avalon.
Yeah.
80th and out,
What
8009
about that house?
Avalon.
Y'all were all living there. And
Yeah,
I was just visiting y'all.
which is Kiera should have a tattoo on the arm of it.
I do.
Yeah,
It's this one.
Oh, the house.
Yeah.
yes. Of her many tattoos.
Of my
Yes,
mini
that's one of
tattoo.
them.
I
Probably
never
got to
knew
find
that.
it because she got a lot of them. A whole lot.
You actually got the house tattoo.
Yeah. It's I will send you a picture
The
of it,
house.
but it's a tattoo of the house, and then it's a little drawing of me on top.
I gotta see
Mhm.
that. That's
What's
cool.
funny, I still have a house. It's a rental home. So I laugh sometimes when I go in there and I'll be like, oh, that's what y'all made this room. Because for us, it was this. And I look like our room and Kira's room. So I still refer to it as Kira's room, even though clearly other people have been living there for over 10 years.
Yeah.
That's how my reference to it is. Here's the room where I kept my stuff, and even the basement, that mirror door, that was that mirror.
Yeah, the
Now that's
storage
gone.
room. It's
That's just
gone.
somebody broke it, and I
Oh,
wasn't gonna replace it. Um, but just
yeah.
some of
It's
the things you
crazy.
look at, like, yeah, this used to be this, and used to be that, and just seeing how things have changed.
Yeah. When we went with you last time to go pick up rent, and Mama Betty was like, "Oh, do you want to go in?" And I was like, "It's not ours anymore, so it feels different. I wouldn't even. It'd be different. I don't care anymore."
Yeah. You would look at it, so me doing it over years, but just looking at what used to be, and you want to so bad critique people and say, you should do this, but then you realize, wait, they pay rent. I can't tell them what to do.
No.
But that's how I use a particular room or where I put particular things. Yeah. Yeah.
I liked y'all basement. The basement was like where the TV was.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like the chill spot. And then the living room was like a true living room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The basement don't look like that no more. It's yeah.
Oh, nah.
Same structure, but just how when people they do it how you want.
Yeah.
And then the living room, I think we didn't keep too much furniture there. So then you seeing other people and they got furniture everywhere, but it feels different, when other people have their stuff there. And even the kitchen, I remember being able to do our work at the kitchen table and things like, all right, sit at this table. You got to do your homework right here. But just that those feelings. And even the backyard was a nice backyard, chill backyard. Yeah.
Is it still the same?
The backyard looks the same. That is one place they keep up. Because they like to use that backyard. The tree that used to be in front is gone. The house next door is vacant, has been vacant for many, many years. He passed. The owner passed.
Oh, the owner passed away?
Mm-hmm. And so it's just that property's there. And then that yard that was there, grass is not kept. So just looks a little different. Not as maintained when the owner's not. But yeah, you have those memories as you drive up to the house, like, oh, I used to live here and things, but yeah.
But let me shift gears. Let's talk about the other house when y'all went to Ingleside.
Ingleside. Yeah.
Talk about Ingleside house.
6438.
For me, that was a lesson of, it was a nice house, huge house. Nobody needs a house that big.
I liked it because it had so many rooms.
And them rooms require heat.
Yeah. I remember there was like a little attic upstairs.
Yeah.
Go up there for the computer.
Yep. That was the computer room.
But it was too many rooms for an only child. It was a lot of rooms.
That's a lot of rooms.
Because there was even an extra room besides my bedroom. There were like 2 extra rooms.
Mm-hmm. That room at the end, which I don't think there was nothing in the room. There was no, I don't remember anything being in that room except nothing. It was empty.
Because when Essence would come into town, she was sleeping there.
That's what only a bed. Nothing else. No front.
And your trolls.
Your troll doll collection, yeah.
Yes, they need their own room.
But I think the thing about that house, it was a beautiful house. It was a big house. But y'all also fell hostage.
Yep.
Y'all were hostage in that house because if you go outside, it was like terror town.
Yeah. That's the feeling for me. I felt trapped a lot in that house because first, I don't even remember what the backyard looked like. I know I never parked in the garage because I wasn't comfortable. But then it's not like a home where you can let me go walking around this block at 7 p.m. You're not doing that in that neighborhood. Mm-mm. When you in, you're going to close that door and lock it. But just it was just a lot happening across the street.
Yeah, it's a trap house right across the street. I remember they was robbing somebody the day we moved in.
It was the guns. Remember there was the police chase?
There was a chase. I remember there was people on the roof.
Yeah.
Somebody running on the roof and I could see.
Yep. Oh yeah, the guy next door, he used to be running across the it was just a lot happening there.
There's a lot happening.
Yeah, it was really a lot. That was nice house, but you're trapped. You can't leave out.
Too much.
I have a question. How did it feel to be in the house with the artist? Was it like, did I take up a lot of space?
Not really, actually. Not really. Especially not that one on Ingleside.
No.
Ingleside, no, you were fine. You got No, I can't say you took up a lot of space. I really, I think eventually, I think we just wanted a room. Here's her space. Let her do what she wants. And just, nah, I don't think you did. I know those art supplies are expensive. That's what I do know.
Okay.
But no, I don't think you took up a lot of space. Now,
No,
currently, are you taking up a lot of space in my basement? Yes, you are. And as I've been saying to you, you want me to send you your stuff because I really would love
No,
the basement back. And that's going to both of you, by the way, Kamisha and Kiera.
That's not even the question
I
she
was
asked.
gonna say that wasn't really the
The,
question I asked.
See how I
the
just
question she asked.
okay. No, you did not take up a lot of space, but your art supplies that are still in my basement are. I would like them. I can send them to you.
Moving on, Joe, I'm gonna ask you the same question that we asked Mommy last time. What was your favorite part about being an art parent or being the parent of an artist?
getting a different artwork from you as presents. Because actually, and you saw it when you came to my office last time you came. Remember, I still had
Yeah, it's still up on the walls. Yep.
all of them still up on the wall. So, yep, I would say that would be the best part. Because working at the job, I always get stuff from all the other kids, but it's nothing like getting something from your own daughter. So, yep, presents from you.
That was well said, Joe.
Now, Kiera, what was your favorite part, or how did you feel about being an art student with parents who didn't understand art? Or sorry, at least
Um,
one who doesn't understand art. Joe was much better than me, but
I was gonna say we would go to museums. Me and Joe would go to museums and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
still not like he does art. So I guess it is like the art people. I have a lot of friends who have parents that are artists and their parents are, I guess, not mean to them, but I guess critical. And it's funny because you guys are so uncritical of my art. I don't think you know what to say. You say positive things, but I don't think you would know how to critique it like a artist would. So it's so like everything. It feels like it. I just assume it goes over your head.
Well, I would even say go over our heads because, like, one of the paintings you gave me was a 3D picture that you did when you were in like sixth grade. And I was saying how that was just ahead of your time. The average 12-year-old or 11-year-old, they're not gonna paint something like that. So yeah, you were always ahead of your time. I will say that.
I don't remember that.
It was a 3D picture. It was like the lake, and you had the trees, and you had the boat, and everything came together. See, you only remember.
No, I would hate to paint that now.
why?
I don't like painting landscapes.
Okay. But it's something that you tried it then,
I
at sixth
did.
grade. Yeah.
Why don't you like painting landscapes?
That's boring.
What do you like painting?
Faces.
I was just about to say that. I have a picture, the one where, oh, you had to be a freshman or a sophomore in high school, where I think it was a self-portrait. But it's a good size painting, your drawing that you did, and it was a self-portrait. And I was like, okay, I can see I kind of knew you were really going to be an art at that point. And then you did a couple other paintings or drawings of people, and I said, okay, I think this is where she's going to go. And I think I at some point asked you about drawing in for textbooks, like drawing the figures and
Yeah, I remember that because you were
yeah,
like, it's the people who draw for textbooks. That's the way to make money.
because that's I had actually no idea how she's going to make money with art. Yeah, because you think about that, you think, okay, well, this is great, but how's she gonna eat? And when she's 25, how do you make money? When you go to school and you get these degrees, to me, I think you should always think, how am I going to make money off of this? So I was just at that point concerned, okay, how is she going to live? Because I didn't want
Figured
you
it
to do
out.
all the others. Huh?
Figured it out.
And that's actually what I admire about you, Kiera, is that you figured out something I never would have seen you doing these projects 10 years ago. Never knew what else you could do with art, honestly. So it's nice to see what you can do with art other than what I imagined at that time.
Yeah.
And then do you like what you do?
Sometimes it's busy. I have to work on weekends, which is weird. A lot of people don't do that. I work weird hours, I guess. So, but it's fun otherwise.
Welcome to adulthood.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say it's like that when you first start out. You expect to work the weekends and off days, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and stuff like that. Just paying your dues.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we've all done it.
We have.
I was about to say all of us have had
At this level, it's like, whoo, okay.
right. Now it's like I ain't doing nothing on weekends. But no, I think when we're starting off, all of us probably had horrible jobs, not horrible jobs, but horrible schedules where you work on weekends. And Joe, I know you work nights,
Yeah.
all type of stuff. Just that's what it takes sometimes to get started.
Yeah.
Now, Kiera, my other question.
Oh, Lord, Kiana with the questions.
What are you going to work on next, Kiera? What's your next project?
Kiera, what's the next question, Kiera?
Okay.
I'll answer mommy's question and then we can wrap up.
Thank you.
I'm starting a PhD program in the fall.
Hey.
Hey, we're proud of you.
Thank you. So that'll be the next project for the next 5 years.
Look, I'm gonna do this. See? Bam.
Oh, fancy.
Hey.
How do I get reaction?
Now Kiana gonna try to do it too. Always the copycatter. Always.
But yeah, it'll be a art history program, and then I'll be a African American digital public humanities fellow. So I'll also be doing some work in Black studies.
You smart girl.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And you're going to be working full time doing this as well?
Yep.
Good stuff.
And this is Delaware?
Yep. University of Delaware.
Oh, nice.
And they're
Yep.
still sending you out the country?
Sending me a lot of places.
So where are you going next? What's Kiera's next adventure?
I'm going to Puerto Rico next month.
Oh, okay.
And then we're gonna see you in Jamaica with us.
And then I'll see you in Jamaica in July.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Okay, to wrap up, Kamisha, recently you had a loss.
I did.
We just want to honor Gizmo real quick. Do you have any fun memories with Gizmo you want to share?
I did. First of all, I lost my dog this week, y'all. This dog has been with me for 20 years. 20 years. We have been to New Orleans and come back. We've been through hurricanes, all the things. So I think one of my favorite memories is I think on moments when I would give him like a treat, like some chicken or a bone, and he would just tear it up, and he was very antisocial. He didn't like other dogs. So if other dogs tried to play with him, he was like, I'm not messing with you. He was in his own world. And he slept a lot, like he had a full-time job, but he was the most chill dog ever. Low maintenance. You just had to feed him, pet him, take him out, and he just did his own thing. So he had his own little personality. But I guess right now I'm really reflecting on how dogs are part of your family, like literally a part of your family. And so not hearing those footsteps on the floor around the house, it's like, oh, something's missing. I think I'm feeling something's missing type of right now. And believe it or not, Kiera, you drew a picture of him years ago. I don't even know if you remember.
No.
And it's actually in my bedroom. And so when I think about a tribute to him, I just, that picture is a good memory of the dog. Like someone was like, go get the ashes. And I was like, I don't do that. But having a picture of him in my house is a nice tribute.
Are you gonna get another one?
Oh no. That was a 20-year relationship. Like I said, no drama. We ain't talk about we ain't had no money issues. We didn't have no drama, no jealousy. It was just pure love.
That's
As
what's
long as you kept them treats coming.
As long as you kept them fed.
Yeah.
up.
Are you gonna
Rest in
keep the
peace,
pillow?
Gizmo.
Right.
Please,
I know.
Gizmo.
Boy, we
Pour
got
out
to
for
put
Gizzy.
something out. Pour a little something out
A
for
little something out.
Gizzy.
Well,
I got the picture. You want me to go get it?
I want to see it.
Hold on, y'all. Let me put
okay.
myself off camera and go get the picture real quick.
Okay.
See it?
I do remember this.
Take your filter off, Kamisha.
I remember this.
In your moment. So there. I know how to do this.
I remember that.
I remember it now.
Oh,
Okay, that's
Hello,
good.
everybody. This is Gizmo.
how long did it take you to do that, Kiara?
I cannot remember.
I remember that one.
I remember it though.
That's nice.
Okay. Rest in peace, Gizmo.
Yes.
R.I.P. Gizzy.
R.I.P. Gizzy.
All right. You lived a good long life.
You did.
Oh, 20
20
years.
years, yeah.
That's a long time.